friends. This is Jen, and on this week's episode, I want to talk about money. And I actually kind of talk about money a lot because I feel that we need money to do and live a life that is fulfilling, that is less stressful, that we can provide and take care of people who we love, and we can provide and take care of ourselves. But there is a lot of shame around money. And as a certified life and mindset coach, I often run into shame, guilt, or feeling like you don't deserve it. Like there's often, just with how our society is, where making money has been, somewhat evil in some. People are like, this person doesn't need all that money. This person, doesn't do good things with their money. We judge other people's money all the time. We judge people for not having enough of it. We judge people for having too much of it. And so the inner narrative that we have been taught our whole life is fundamentally fucked. And especially if we look at the foundation of women in general. Like the other day, my daughter goes, Mom, did you know that women couldn't vote? Like they couldn't even vote, Mom. And I'm like, just seeing how that almost just sunk in with my daughter, that we didn't have the same rights because of our gender. And as women, we're often gender typed that we're taking care of the kids. We're taking care of everybody. And now we have those same stereotypes, but you're also supposed to work your ass off, make money so you can contribute, because, that's just how it's evolved. So no longer is it that, we're just sitting at home making or eating bonbons and taking care of children and cleaning and doing all those things. Like there's just this whole different social construct now, and it often doesn't feel good, especially with all of this narrative around money. You always want more, don't know how to get more, feel like you're living in this kind of mindset of lack around it. Like that feels horrible. I don't like feeling that, I couldn't provide for my kids. I couldn't do something. I don't like feeling that I couldn't go buy something when I needed to. Like that feeling is never a good feeling. And where I think a big shift happens is when you start to really believe that you're worth money. You're worth making more money. Your value is priceless. Like you deserve so much abundance. And that is a big shift from, some people just thinking like I'm trying to struggle and get by and I'm doing what I can. Because in the big, open, kind of over the top view, as florists, we work really hard. We work our asses off. We're schlepping flowers, we're stripping them, we're carrying these huge things, we're climbing up ladders, we're doing all these things. And honestly, there's a big emotional weight florists carry. Like I've shared like the story of putting a casket spray on and the feelings that I felt related to people I've lost. The, feeling that when I gave a client her bridal bouquet and she's like crying because she's so in love with it, like that is a lot of emotional weight. And on top of it, it's an art form. And there's also, I feel like, a big narrative about creatives and artists not really making money because they should be doing something that they love. And this should be, I just love flowers. I do fundamentally love flowers, but this is also my livelihood. This is how I make money. And just because I am an artist, I am a creative, doesn't undervalue my contribution. And for some reason, money feels really personal in creative businesses. Like talking about it is hard. Like when I do a coaching session, I often am asking, like, what did you pay yourself? How much money do you want to make? And I'm utterly shocked on how I can see someone and their value so much more than they can in less than an hour of talking to somebody. We often do not give ourselves credit where we deserve the credit because we are working hard. I mean, I've coached florists that have, $750,000 businesses and pay themselves what I think is bare minimum. I mean, I don't even call it bare minimum. I mean, and this is not just one person. I have coached so many florists who do not pay themselves and they have very, very big businesses. So I think that we need to stop like this pattern of we're surviving and turn that pattern into we are thriving because we need to talk about money. It's so interesting to me because, and I've talked about this on the podcast because I really feel like it's a shift that I'm hoping that I can bring into this space. I feel like Francesca, the hotel florist, she brings this into this space, is that making money is okay. Making money is not greedy. You deserve to make money. So eh, with that, that requires some big money mindset shifts. And I feel like the first one is wanting to make money does not need to feel greedy. It doesn't make you greedy. It makes you financially secure. And just because you are financially secure does not mean that that diminishes your love for flowers or what you're doing. So if you have the belief that, you care about money, I'm not doing this for the right reasons. Like, I'm doing this because I love flowers. Like, we need to shift that because you deserve to make money and money does not make you greedy. And if it does trigger you feeling greedy, I would love to have you just kind of reflect and dive in to where that came from. So much of our money mindset came from our how we grew up, from our parents, from people we were influenced, and we really need to get over that we are not a bunch of martyrs that are just doing things to not get paid. And just because this is a passion-based business doesn't mean that gets to be exploited. Your worth is your worth. And you are allowed to build wealth from beautiful work. And I remember this moment when I was a baby florist and I was at the wholesaler and I saw somebody with an Audi Q7 or something like that. It's a really nice SUV, pull in and load their flowers up. And I was like, what the kind of bougie florist is rolling up in this really nice ass car and just on and on. And it's just so funny because that was my narrative that like florists didn't deserve to make money and how dare they almost be driving this fancy car because they're ripping people off. Like how ridiculous does that sound, you guys? It sounds so ridiculous now. But that was normalized for me back then. Because we're doing something we love, it means we can't make money. But making money allows you to rest, grow, give, and lead. It allows you to start living this dream life that you've been hopefully dreaming of since you were a little kid. I mean, I have dreamt about the life I have right now since growing up on that farm when we moved away when I was about 11, but I always felt like that was what I was meant to be doing. And you can't do those things without money. Like this farm definitely would not be possible because it is a lot. It is a big expense to make this dream happen. And that requires money. So you deserve that money. And then the next money mindset shift I'd love to talk about is that revenue does not equal success. Back in the day, again, I've learned so many lessons over 1,700 weddings and 30 years of doing this. And I used to believe if I had a six-figure year, like I was doing amazeballs. But if you're not paying yourself from that, the business isn't actually successful. The difference between a busy and a profitable florist is margin, is profit margin. And if you listen to my episodes on Profit First, I dive deep into formulas that you can basically install into your business to help you build profit from dollar number one in your business. And I also, in that process, like, we have a lot of florists have that magical dream of $100,000. I want you to know that if you want to pay yourself, because a lot of times people are thinking they want to pay themselves. When I've backed into with average percentages of cost of goods, cost of running your business, cost of labor, and all of those things, like you realistically need a 225 to $30,000 business to actually pay yourself, and that's if you are running like a lean, mean money machine. And that is, to me, more of a goal of what you're paying yourself than the gross revenue. Sure, my business looks really great with, being in like the 300s. But I have coached florists that are in the 300s, in the 700s, and pay themselves 25 to $50,000 for a very, very big business, for working a shitload of hours. I do what I do on very part-time hours. During wedding season, yes. Do I work more? Yes. During the off season, like I'm snuggling my kids more. I'm going to pottery class. I'm going to CrossFit more. I'm being me more. And I really wish we could just get over this whole normalization of not paying ourselves. And the danger that when I'm really trying to teach someone, I get so much hesitation even on in reinvesting everything in themselves. It is so hard for florists to invest in coaching. It's something that I have never struggled with because I always knew if I learned one thing, if I had one shift that made me more money, that investment was worth it. And it is it is not the mindset most florists have. I want to simplify learning. I want to create this path to learning that is like shortcuts that I know somebody else has done and I know that will work because I know that will make me more revenue. And that has been a really hard concept for many florists. Like even coming to one of my workshops, I actually went through this exercise. I've actually talked, I think 3 times through this recently. This person, these people really want to get higher end clients to come their way. And I love that because I know that if you get higher end clients, you're inevitably going to be able to do less weddings and work less and then make more money because your average profit per wedding is going to increase. And, going through that, I'm like, you know what? My workshops are so affordable and you could go put a styled shoot together. You could go and buy $1,000 of flowers, and that's easy. On the easy end, you could spend $1,000 of flowers. If you're not going crazy, you could find a photographer you actually like and that will deliver. You can go find a bride. You can go find a wedding planner. You can go find a venue. You could do all these things. And, you could invest 25 hours and then you could go invest that $1,000 of flowers. And that's if you get every single thing donated. Guys, putting these workshops together is expensive. I get donations sometimes, but things add up to spend thousands of dollars very easily on, all the different details of the workshop. Or instead of doing all that, you could come to my workshop for, I think right now, like under $1,000. And you're getting education. You're getting to see how all these things work. You're getting a kick-ass portfolio. But that very concept of doing that, yes, you got to buy a plane ticket. Yes, you have to, you know, get a hotel. But what you gain from that versus like winging it, and then that's if you love, after you do all that work, you love those images. And maybe you won't love the images from the workshop, but if you go on my Instagram feed, I just did a reel with all of them. They're the hotness. Like, this is a portfolio that I think any florist could be proud to put out there. But I know that that investment will supersede any investment that you make in your business, because a portfolio speaks to social proof, which helps you put that on your website, which helps you put that in all the places. And I just would love for you to start positioning yourself as the go-to, premium or luxury florist that, can curate things that are beautiful, and you get all of that to put on your Instagram feed. And no, you don't want to brain dump like the whole thing on your feed. You want to sprinkle it in and just keep positioning yourself as an expert. All right. Next money mindset shift is underpricing isn't generosity. You are sabotaging yourself. I used to think, I want to be affordable. I want to be kind. I want to be helpful. I want to be able to help everybody. Your pricing teaches people how to value you. Underpricing trains clients to disrespect your time. The emotional toll of doing cheap, garbagey work weighs on you. I did it. It sucks. It does not feel good. I almost lost my freaking mind over baby's breath in mason jars. Helping everyone often hurts you the most. And so fair pricing creates better clients, better boundaries, and better outcomes overall. And you do not need to continue to keep self-sabotaging yourself. It doesn't make you a better person when you're not making money. It actually makes you probably inevitably a more resentful person, a more on edge person, a more triggered person, because you're not feeling valued. If this has ever happened to you, that, you're doing everything in a relationship, or you're doing everything for your parents and just don't feel appreciated, money is the same relationship, you guys. All right. Money mindset number 4. Your labor has value beyond the flowers. I used to think they're just buying flowers. They're just buying flowers. They are not just buying flowers. They are buying my experience, my decision making. I am a logistics queen. I can figure anything out. And they're also hiring like your essence, your being. I flat out tell people that they can feel so confident that flowers are going to be delivered and be beautiful no matter what, because I have done this 1,700 times. Nothing can get in my way. Like, that confidence is something that has value. The invisible labor florists provide is so valuable. Emotional labor on wedding days is so valuable. The mental load of ordering, timing, mechanics, problem solving, your expertise matters, and your experience, even at a venue, matters. And I want you to know that that doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you a person who values yourself. All right. Money mindset shift number 5. Your business should fund your life, not consume it. I used to have this belief that this is just how busy seasons are. But really, I've shifted that my business should support the life that I want to live all the time. As florists, we normalize burnout. We get into this just a season of life trap. We design a business that funds, you know, chaos and, uncertainty and basically feeling like you're strung out all the time instead of designing a business that funds rest, time off, and stability. And I know people are like, weddings are so unstable, weddings are so not if you do it the right way. I I love how people are always trying to think out of the box and create, really recurring revenue that's coming into your business that, isn't reliant on situational things like a wedding. I love that. I love that for you if that's what you want to do. But I'm also telling you that if that isn't your jam, you can still make a very good living doing weddings, working a little bit harder for 6 months out of the year and getting more rest and recovery for the next 6 months. That is easy and very doable. We need to stop normalizing and change the decisions we make from surviving into abundance. All right. Money mindset shift number 6, you don't have to struggle to be worthy. If it's not hard, I don't deserve it is a very encrusted belief in us. Erase, like, that doesn't make you lazy. It means you want to build something more sustainable. This is part of the reason why I actually changed the podcast name because I don't hustle. Like, there are seasons that they're busier, but I'm not like slanging, like hustling like I did when I was younger anymore. And we glorify hustle in life often as it's some type of badge of honor and, letting go of scarcity is often an identity like that we operate in scarcity mode and that just doesn't work for me anymore. So we need to ease into abundance and not weakness, that we are allowed to run a business on our own terms. Then, money mindset shift number 7, being paid well lets you show up better. I used to think if I like worked harder, like I'll care more, I'll show up more, my work will show up better. But when you're supported financially, you show up more creatively, more calmly, and more confidently. When I have money to spend, my designs show it. And when you're underpaid, you are resentful. I'm just telling you, it creeps in like crazy. Financial stability creates better clients' experiences. Money isn't your worst enemy, stress is. So being paid well actually improves your artistry. So I want you to really reflect on like these 3 things. What would change in my business if I really believed I deserve to be paid well? If I went into every job going, I deserve to make money. And one exercise that I would love for you to go through is go and figure out what is the minimum per hour that it takes for you to show up and want to do something. This is something all business owners, I kind of talk to them about. Like mine is $100 an hour. I don't show up for something unless I'm making $100 an hour. And that's on the low end. I normally have a $200 because that's what the pricing of a coaching session is. Because I know my value and my expertise well outweighs that $200. So I'm also knowing that that hourly wage, I exceed that value of that. The lessons and things that I've learned that I can teach somebody, the certifications I have that can dig into like where something could be breaking down in a person, my personal experience of now coaching, over 100 florists, like I know I have the experience to make things happen, and that $200 investment, I know I will deliver far more value. Okay, next reflection, I would love for you to go, where am I undercharging because I'm afraid? Are you undercharging in setup and deliveries? Are you undercharging on your actual flower markup? Are you undercharging on your labor? And then what is one small money boundary I can set this month? Everybody thinks they just need to go balls out when they're changing things. Like, one thing, if you did one thing, like you went and read Profit First or listened to the audiobook, that one thing is like a little micro shift towards your future. If you went and, made some other little shift, like those shifts compound. So what's one small boundary you can put in place this month? And then I want you to really leave this podcast episode going, I am not selfish for wanting more. I am allowed to want profit, rest, stability, and abundance. Your business is allowed to grow beyond survival mode. Money is not a goal. Freedom, sustainability, alignment, loving your life, all of that is a goal. And you don't own the world. You're burnout. Like, everybody, let's get our burnout badge of honors and let's go fucking burn them. Because you deserve so much more than that. You deserve a business that takes care of you too. If you are looking for extra guidance, these are things that we dive into in the Floral CEO Mastermind. In the Business Branding and Bouquets workshop, we are also going to dive into this in detail in April, plus all the other amazing, leaving with this amazing branding portfolio of images of you, being part of a styled shoot, like coming and seeing how my studio is set up, all the things. So go check out floralceo.com/mastermind to learn more about the mastermind. And then also I'll put a link to the workshops in because they are coming up and you need to be here. Minnesota, like I've been just worried with everything that's happening here that was affecting people. ICE is being pulled out. So I'm so excited for the future, but I know that where the workshops are happening, I feel that they're like, no matter what is happening, they're so off the beaten path that it's not going to be impacted by anything going on here in Minnesota. But I feel good things are happening in Minnesota, and that was a big weight off my chest in the last week. So I invite you to make more money in your business in 2026. Thank you so much for listening, flower friend, and you have an amazing flower-filled day.